we are opening this video up with a tweet. Because not only is this the series preview between the Vancouver Canucks and the Edmonton Oilers, where we'll be breaking down the teams on the ice, but no, we are also going to be talking about the vibes, baby, because Chris Johnston tweeted this out yesterday. Hockey Twitter may not survive an Edmonton-Vancouver series, but I am all here for it. And the reason Hockey Twitter may not survive this is because, look, if you've been a part of Twitter, you're a part of social media, you've seen the Canucks fans, you've seen the Oilers fans, both of these fan bases are toxic as hell, and they get so antagonistic towards the teams that they're playing against that it's almost borderline comedy how crazy things are going to become. So, Hockey Twitter, be prepared, because over the span of the next 2 weeks or so, Canucks and Oilers fans are going to take over everything, and it is going to be very overwhelming. So yeah, be prepared to get some mudslinging thrown out there. In fact, we already have some mudslinging. DNL, Oilers Analytics, tweeting out Canucks fans after 4 games against the Oilers, and of course that is downtown right in front of the CBC building, from the last time the Canucks were making a deep run in the playoffs. Yeah, they kind of set the city on fire. And yeah, let's hope at no point that no one in Edmonton gets stabbed, and then there's a lot of mudslinging going back the other way. There's like talking about Quinn, Hughes, and Evan Bouchard. Oh, Norris Trophy lock, so amazing. Versus a useless bum who sucks. Bouchard had 9 points in 5 games in the playoffs. Hughes had 5 points in 5 games. So the implication here is, oh wow, y'all are talking so much smack about Bouchard, but he's better than Hughes. Man, stop. Bouchard can have all the good stats he wants. He is still not a better defenseman than Hughes. Not many defensemen are. I agree to disagree. And so there's a lot of hard feelings going on here. Even Ryan Whitney got involved. Whit, you're a loser, idiot, scumbag, pale F, and the Canucks owned the Oilers all season. How'd that work out for the Jets against Colorado? Regular season doesn't mean a thing. It's on. Let's go Oilers. And even last night, yesterday, after the Canucks won, you saw Canucks fans chanting on the street, F McDavid, clap, 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 F McDavid, clap, 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 clap. And that's a really rambunctious thing to do. So already, the series hasn't even begun yet, but social media is set ablaze with Canucks fans and Oilers fans going at it. And you know what? I'm not going to discourage that from the comment section of this video. Just try to keep it civil. Okay, now let's go over onto the actual breakdown of this series here. Stage is set for a second-round matchup between the Canucks and the Oilers. As we had said in the video yesterday, this is the first time the Canucks and the Oilers are playing off against each other in the postseason since 1992, where the Oilers won in 6 games. It's been, what is that, 24 plus 8, 32 years since the Canucks and the Oilers have played each other in the postseason, but when it comes to the regular season, the Canucks had 4 wins. The Oilers had 0. The Canucks outscored the Oilers 21-7 in those 4 games. Power play percentage, the Canucks had a 41.2% power play. That is really good. The Oilers only had a 25% power play, and the Canucks' save percentage was outstanding against Edmonton to open up the season. Now, there are splits that you could go out there and talk about. You might want to mention that 3 of these games were in the first 11 games of the season when the Oilers got off to a 2-9-1 start through 12 games and changed their head coach. And the 4th time they played, where Casey DeSmith got the win, Connor McDavid did not play. So this actually is one of these series where you could say the best is yet to come. We cannot go out there and expect the October results to carry forward into May and continue the same pattern. How far along ago was that? October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Like, that's 8 months ago. That's almost an entire baby ago. So, you know, lots can change between 8 months. So we'll see whether or not the Vancouver Canucks are able to play off against the Oilers and maintain their crazy rates of goals, power play percentage, and save percentage. I will say, though, when it comes to the styles, I like this matchup a lot for Vancouver because coming off a series against the Nashville Predators, you can say, oh yeah, well, the Canucks did not produce too many points. Like, Miller and Boeser were the top guys with 6 points each. Quinn Hughes had 5. Meanwhile, for the Oilers, you had 5 guys, at 6 or more points. Bouchard had 9, Draisaitl had 10, McDavid had 12. These guys are crazy. They outproduced everybody. Zach Hyman had more goals than any Canuck had points against the Predators. That is very true, but at the same time, the Oilers just know how to play and dominate the Kings 1-3-1. They're so overwhelming against that system, and it works so well. Meanwhile, the Canucks were playing off against the Predators team that kind of buckled down themselves on defense. It was a defensive battle, where all the goals and everything were being scored in series like Colorado and Edmonton. The Canucks and the Preds had very close, very low-scoring games. That's just kind of how it went. It's not like, oh yeah, the Canucks cannot play with the Oilers because they can't score as many goals. Well, it's because the matchup they were in really promoted heavy defensive play. And so the Canucks ultimately, heading into this Oilers series, I feel like they're very properly equipped to deal with this stacked unit of power play guys and overall point-producing scorers, because the Canucks were already used to playing that weather the storm, defend the net, defend the castle kind of style, and it worked. It's going to be different because Edmonton does not play that same level of defense. But the Canucks, they should be well equipped to do it. They also had themselves a lot of success in that same style against the Oilers earlier this year. Now, of course, the games were not the same. The situations, the circumstances, the Oilers' mojo was not coming through. But if the Canucks can just keep up their defensive composure, it should be a lot easier to weather off the storm for them than I would say the LA Kings had, mostly because the Kings, they don't have the same star power talent that Vancouver does. The Kings don't have the goaltending that Vancouver does when Thatcher Demko is healthy, of course, although you could debate that Arturs Silovs is definitely good enough because, I mean, 9.38 save percentage in 3 games, that kind of says it all right there, doesn't it? The Canucks defense, I think, is something that the Oilers have not faced off against in this series, but of course, the same could be said the opposite way. The Preds do not have the same high-flying goal-scoring talent like the Oilers do. So the Canucks are going to really have to tighten things down if they want to beat Edmonton. But of course, with high-flying offense provides opportunities for exploitation. Because the Oilers play a run-and-gun style, it's a lot easier for Vancouver to penetrate and get opportunities in tight. We saw that earlier on in the year. It's why they got so many goals. 21 goals to 7 against the Oilers in the regular season. The Canucks were just finding ways to exploit Edmonton's holes. Nashville didn't have many of those, which is why we had that tight series as we did. Now we go over to this article here on Sportsnet.ca. Sonny Sachdeva went out there and made this. It's a really good post. I'll leave a link in the description. There is a season preview of what we had seen between these two teams, and then there also was the playoff team stats. So far in the playoffs, the Vancouver Canucks have a 15.4% power play percentage. Not great. They're 12th out of 16 teams in the postseason. The Oilers, however, have a 45% of power play success rate, which is first in the NHL. Okay, that's fine. I mean, they're so good. This team is clicking on all cylinders, but of course, as we had said, the LA defense, I would say the Canucks have a better defense rather than LA at this moment. They're just a bit bigger, they're just a bit more physical, and we'll see how exactly that carries over into the series. In terms of penalty kill, the Canucks were the third best penalty killing team against Nashville. They only had 2 goals against scored on the power play, and one of them probably should not have counted. Meanwhile, the Oilers did not succumb a power play goal against the entire series against LA. Is that more of an indictment against the Kings, or is it just saying that the Oilers are good? Who really knows? In terms of goals for per game, the Canucks were 13th with 2.17, because of course they were. I mean, the entire series was not great against Nashville when it comes to scoring goals, but the Oilers were second in goals for per game with 4.4. Goals against, though, the Canucks had 2 goals against per game, which was third in the league. Edmonton had a 2.6, which was 8th. Here are the advanced stats. So Corsi for percentage, the Canucks are 10th, the Oilers are 3rd in goals for percentage. So the amount of goals that ended up going their way versus the other team, yeah, no, Canucks were 2nd in the league. Oilers were 5th, so pretty good to see the Canucks come out on top there. Expected goals for percentage, the Canucks were 8th compared to the Oilers who were 1st. Save percentage, the Canucks were 6th, the Oilers were 13th. So even though the Oilers were really good offensively and they had all these really good scoring opportunities, goal production, on-ice rate numbers, etc., their save percentage was still 13th. So 13th out of 16, one of the worst in the entire playoffs so far. Stuart Skinner has not been amazing, and I think the Vancouver Canucks have themselves an opportunity to exploit that heading into this series. And in terms of shooting percentage, the Oilers were last or near the end of the bottom two with 14 out of 16. They had an 8.81 shooting percentage. The Canucks were first, 10.61. They scored a bunch of goals, even though the defense was tight and the shots were limited. So this, of course, is going to be a really big series. We'll take a look and see whom the MVPs are going to be. I mean, this article says the Canucks X Factor is going to be Arturs Silovs, and the Oilers X Factor will be Zach Hyman. We'll see how exactly they're able to battle off against each other. If Thatcher Demko comes back, then we will see what happens then. But either way, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this second round matchup between the Canucks and the Oilers? What are your opinions on what's going to happen? And are you ready for the all-out war that is going to go on social media between these two fan bases once the games begin? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. 99 and bye.